Hello, everybody. And I'm here with CK once again. And this time, being April, we decided to talk about one of the most important topics, which we've been covering with quite a few clients we've worked with, and also in workshops individually with founders vision to reality. And if you really look at it, CK, the topic in itself says the whole story, right?
Yeah.
But then when you actually double click on it, you actually realize that the V of vision is also not clear with the founders and the team. So, one first, your take on vision to reality as a topic for workshop, for founders, for teams, and even to some extent for business leaders.
Yeah, I think the reason why I chose this topic, vision to reality, is because in most cases, the vision is there only in the founder's mind. It
Correct.
may be there in a conference room on a notice board, right? But it's not something that's internalized. So that is one thing that really is a gap that comes. Secondly, since we work with years, 7 years, 10 years plus, right? So the vision that they started off with at the start of their journey uh, and the team that was there at the start of the journey may be different from the team that they have right now. Many more new people would have joined, many more new managers and leaders would have joined as the company would have grown and scaled up. But the vision is still what the original founders had put at the start, right?
Correct.
So one of the questions I asked them is in terms of, is there a need to revisit the vision? Because today your company may have many more new products, many more new services, maybe servicing many more geographies, many more countries, uh, many more innovations that will happen from the time you started the operations or business. So the vision itself may have to undergo a change, right? And then, so I'm saying, keep it, relook at the vision for the next 3 years. Would you like to relook at it? I mean, I'm not something that has to happen, but it's the question I generally pose to the founders and the leadership or management team that would you like to relook at the vision? And I think 99% of them say yes, we need to, right? So I think that is the starting point. Why this topic was chosen, because I think almost every founder feels the need that yes, I need to revisit the vision. What we did when we started and where we are today, the situation and context is very different, right? So that is to answer your question on why vision to reality.
Absolutely. And in fact, last week I was speaking at an event and there were a group of around 15, 20 people. And when I asked them what their plan or their business plan or the plan for the coming financial year was, everyone had their own versions and stories. And when I double clicked, like basically asked them, what do you mean by that? Right? They actually did not know. So the one question which kept coming back to me, CK, was do they need to have a preset business plan to work on this vision to reality? So do you think a business plan is needed or will this workshop help to put the business plan in place?
I mean, see, like if it's a company which has been around for a few years, I presume they have a business plan. That again is quite a surprise because there are many organizations which don't have a proper business plan, right? They have a couple of Excel sheet working. So, okay, last year we did this much. Now this year we should do so much more. We should do 40% growth, 30% growth, 80% growth. And a lot of it is done on the Excel sheets, which I'm not a big fan of. Yes, Excel sheets are good for doing the finer working.
Absolutely.
But to me, business plan is not an Excel sheet. It's a strategy. The
Correct.
strategy. Right. So the companies which have already done a business plan before the vision to reality exercise, great. Right. But here again, a majority of the clients would not have had a proper business plan. Right.
Yeah.
They will have a sales plan. Okay, we should achieve so much revenue this year. A sales plan is not a business plan.
Correct.
Right. Business plan encompasses all functions, all departments, the whole organization. Right. So this business planning approach is also integrated into our vision to reality workshop.
Okay.
It's also integrated because one flows into the other, because your business plan has to be aligned to your vision.
Right.
Your vision might be reset for the next 3 years, but your business plan will be more focused on the next 12 months, right? So they're not two independent documents, they're two integrated documents. So I think it makes a lot of sense, and that's what we do in all the workshops, is that vision to reality and business planning is part of the same workshop. Just that we take it as two separate modules, but one flowing into the other. Yeah.
Also, when you were saying this, I just remembered Like in all my experience, I might have literally put around minimum around 100 business plan, right, for various fundraising activities, pitching activities to investors, blah blah blah, that whole circus, right? But in fact, in the last few times when I did this workshop with you for a few clients, that's when I realized that the business plan, which usually is put as a document, is literally no way in relationship with the actual business plan which you go out there and execute, which kind of
Yeah.
comes off as an end product of this workshop, right? So I think it would make absolute sense if a team comes with their basic skeleton of their
Yeah.
ideas in regards to business and then put that together in the workshop. Do you think that's the best way to go forward?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I think whatever they already have is a good way to start.
Yeah.
Like in one case, for example, they already had put together a go-to-market document, right?
Yes.
So they had some thought processing that these are the segments that we want to focus on, or these are the geographies you want to focus on, these are the products or services that you want to focus on. So that's a great start. That's a great start. Now they may have had a GTM document for the previous year as well, but again, half the stuff in the GTM document may not have actually happened.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of gap between planning and execution. Planning and execution. You want to do a lot of things, but you end up doing maybe half of them, right? And that also you don't do it properly.
Yeah.
So then the business plan remains only on paper because it doesn't get achieved in most cases. So that is where I think this whole vision to reality exercise, once we've involved the team, getting to know this is the new vision for the organization, right? And I think that's a starting point of change because it's no longer only the founder, co-founder's vision. It is the leadership team vision of that organization, validated by the founder and co-founder, right? And I think that's a big change. It's no longer one person's vision or two people's vision, right? It's not the investor's vision. It is a team that is going to deliver that vision, which is making that vision.
Correct.
And I think that's a big shift. That's a big shift in, what do you call it, involving and engaging the entire leadership team in this whole process.
Very interesting you took the term team here because my next question to you was in regards to the team actually. And that's what I wanted to ask, like how important or critical is it to have the team involved? And when you say team, what level of teams are you talking about? Is this the founding team or the what do you say, the or seasoned team members or any designations? What are your thoughts? Like how critical does the team play a part in the workshops?
Yeah, I think without the team, the company is not going to achieve anything, right? The founder or co-founder is not going to achieve 50 crores or 75 crores or 100 crores, right, on their own, right? They need a team, right? So depending on how that organization is structured, you could have maybe a technical head, you may have various departmental heads, you could have, they could either be departmental heads or they could be, management team members heading a particular function like finance or HR or sales or marketing or, you know, technical or R&D or whatever it is, right? Depending on the business that the organization is into. So I call them a core team, right? So one of the first things that I do with an organization, tell me who are your core team members, right? Core team members are the ones who are going to be handling a particular function or a department at whatever level they be. All of them may not be very senior people. Some may be very senior because they've been in the organization or been hired from outside. Some may be mid-level, right? But they're still handling a particular function or role, right? But from a point of view of the success of the organization, they are a core team member.
Correct.
And I think if you don't involve them in the making of the vision, you don't involve them in the business planning process, you don't involve them in the business goals finalization, nothing is going to happen.
Okay.
And my experience over the last 15 years as a mentor coach has been that it's only when bottom up and top down both come together that the organization are going to actually achieve its success. Top down doesn't work on its own, bottom up on its own will not work. You need the right blend of both. Top down giving the directions and playing the support role and the empowering role, and the bottom up actually doing the execution and coming up saying, look, this is where we're getting stuck, this is where we need support. Then it starts moving towards an execution mode.
What stage does this make sense, this kind of a workshop? what stage does this make sense, CK? Like, for example, is it for a person who's just done his MVP or just started maybe less than a year old company or a business or a startup? Or does this make sense more for much more mature businesses? How would you define the most feasible time for an entrepreneur or a business leader to do this workshop?
Yeah, the situation is different. If you're doing it for a startup, which is still in the initial stage, right? So then the vision is very important, because why are you starting this business? What are you trying to achieve? What are the impact you're trying to achieve, right? What changes are you planning to make in the way your customer or consumers, benefit from what products or services you offer? So the starting point obviously is the vision, right? Then comes the product or service. Then comes who are your target segments, which are your target geographies, right? What is the marketing message you want to create? Who are you competing with? What are your marketing differentiators, right? All that clarity is very much required at an early stage when you're just starting a business. What business you will achieve in year 1, year 2, year 3 is a lot of speculation, because it's still very early stage. Your product or service is still getting established in the marketplace, right?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of assumptions that are being taken.
Yeah.
A lot of assumptions that we can get this kind of revenue if we get these kind of clients who will pay us so much. So I think a lot of the business planning in that early stage is very speculative, right? Whereas if we move to a slightly more mature organization, which has been around for say 3 years to 5 years or more, right? They've already got their product or service in the market, right? They've already seen what is working, what is not working, what kind of customers are buying, what kind of customers are not buying, consumers, or B2B or B2C, doesn't matter, right? So they've got a feel of what is working, what is not working, right? Now, when they are resetting their vision, it is based on a couple of years of experience in the marketplace, right? So that becomes a lot more real, right? So now when they say for the next 3 years, this is how we see ourselves repositioning the company, and this is the kind of growth we're looking for in this company, this is our go-to-market strategy, right? They're also a lot more clear about these are our products, these are our services, these are the customer segments we're focusing on, these are the geographies that we're focusing on, these are the channels through which we are getting our customers. This is our after-sales service strategy. This is our hiring strategy. This is our product or R&D innovation strategy. So, they're already reached some level of maturity.
Correct.
So in that case, the vision resetting and the business plan resetting is based on past data plus future projection. So I think, the concept of the vision to reality workshop remains the same. Just that its application will be different if it's an early stage organization. Application will be different if it's a slightly more mature organization. But the principles are same. Principles are same. I mean, you need to have clear vision. You need to have your product strategy, market strategy, alliance strategy, services strategy, after support subset strategy. All that has to be very clearly defined. And quite often, those are the loose ends. Those are the loose ends, right? Only the sales numbers are focused on. This year, we need to get so much revenue, right? There's too much of focus on revenue without saying that what is getting that revenue in the first place? How is that revenue going to happen? Who are the team members who are going to play a role in actually getting the product or service into the market and giving an outstanding, customer experience? That is the thing to answer your question, that the context is different for a startup and a mature company. So the approach has to be different, but the principles are same.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. And yes, as I said in my previous event that I attended, there was a lot of interest. And hopefully those who are watching this video also will definitely find some interest here. And looking forward for many joint workshops of vision to reality, especially in the first quarter of this financial year, because that's when a lot of thinking caps go on for the full year. So hope to have many more. And nice having you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.